You look in the mirror almost every day. You brush your hair. You shave. You fix your clothes. Maybe you notice a wrinkle that wasn't there last year. Maybe a strand of grey. Maybe nothing at all. And then you move on. Because your body changes so slowly that it almost feels like it isn't changing at all. But for most of human history, people didn't need mirrors to know they were getting older. Their backs told them. Their hands told them. The scars on their skin told them. Aging wasn't hidden behind bathroom lights or filtered photographs. It was something you lived with. Something you watched happen to everyone around you. And here's the strange part. Modern humans are living longer than ever before. Yet many of us understand aging less than any generation that came before. So what actually happens inside your body every second you're alive? Why do we grow old at all? And what if aging isn't really the mystery? What if the real mystery is why we're alive long enough to notice it? Right now, as you're listening, your body is replacing itself. Millions of cells are dying. Millions more are being born. Your stomach lining renews itself in days. Your skin in weeks. Your blood in months. Even your bones quietly rebuild themselves over years. You're not the same physical person you were 10 years ago. Not completely. Your body is less like a statue. And more like a city. Buildings are constantly demolished. Roads repaired. Workers replaced. Yet somehow, the city keeps its name. So here's the question. If almost everything inside you changes, why does you feel the same? Scientists still don't have a complete answer. Because identity isn't stored in one place. It's an ongoing conversation between memory, biology, and time. Which makes aging even stranger. You're changing every moment. Yet you experience yourself as continuous. Almost permanent. Almost. But here's what most people never think about. Every cell carries a clock. Not one with numbers. One with limits. At the ends of your chromosomes are tiny protective caps called telomeres. Imagine the plastic tips on the end of a shoelace. Every time a cell divides, those tips become a little shorter. Again. 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 Eventually, the cell reaches a point where it can no longer divide safely. It doesn't explode. It simply stops. Scientists call this cellular senescence. Cells that remain alive, but no longer contribute the way they once did. They begin releasing signals that affect the cells around them. Over decades, these tiny changes accumulate. Wrinkles appear. Muscles weaken. Healing slows. Not because one dramatic event happened, but because millions of microscopic ones never stopped happening. Your body has been keeping count since before you could remember your own name. But here's the part nobody talks about. Evolution never designed your body to live forever. It didn't even try. Natural selection rewards survival. Only long enough to reproduce and raise offspring. After that, its influence begins to fade. This sounds harsh, but it's actually extraordinary. Your body isn't failing because it was badly built. It's aging because perfection was never part of the blueprint. Every heartbeat creates tiny damage. Every breath produces reactive molecules that slowly wear down cells. Even sunlight, the thing that gives life, quietly alters your DNA. Life doesn't pause while it repairs itself. It keeps moving, which means every moment of living costs something. You are powered by a process that slowly consumes the machine creating it. In a way, life is borrowing energy from tomorrow to exist today. For most of history, old age wasn't common. Not because humans couldn't live long. Some absolutely did. But disease, violence, childbirth, starvation, and infection claimed countless lives long before wrinkles ever could. Reaching old age wasn't ordinary. It was remarkable. Entire villages depended on people who had survived long enough to remember. The elderly carried maps no one else possessed. Which plants healed? Which rivers flooded? Which stories warned against repeating old mistakes? Age wasn't simply decline. It was memory made visible. Today, many of us reach 70, 80, even 90. Yet we often fear aging instead of respecting it. Perhaps because modern society celebrates what is new, fast, young, untouched, while quietly treating time itself as something to defeat. Here's another mystery. When you're 10, 1 year feels enormous. When you're 50, entire decades disappear. Why? Psychologists believe your brain measures time through novelty. Children experience constant firsts. First school. First friendship. First heartbreak. Everything is unfamiliar. Everything demands attention. As adults, life becomes predictable. The commute. The emails. The same streets. The same routines. The brain compresses repeated experiences, which makes years seem shorter, even though they're exactly the same length. Perhaps time isn't accelerating. Perhaps memory is becoming more efficient. And that's why aging feels so sudden. You didn't lose time overnight. You simply stopped noticing it being created. Human beings have searched for immortality for thousands of years. Alchemy, sacred waters, magic fruits, cryonics, gene editing, artificial intelligence. Every generation imagines it might finally outrun death. But here's the paradox. If nothing ever ended, would anything matter? A sunset is beautiful because it disappears. Music moves us because the final note arrives. Childhood matters because it cannot return. Mortality doesn't only limit life. It gives life shape. Without endings, there are no beginnings. Only endless continuation. And endless continuation may not be living at all. Tonight, before you fall asleep, your heart will beat thousands more times. Cells inside your body will quietly repair themselves. Others will quietly disappear. You'll wake tomorrow, slightly different from the person who closes their eyes tonight. Not enough to notice, but enough to matter. Your body has been changing every second since the day you were born. Not because it's broken, because it's alive. Maybe that's what aging really is. Not the opposite of youth, but the visible evidence that life has been happening. Every wrinkle is time made physical. Every scar, a story your skin refused to forget. Every grey hair, proof that you've remained here. Proof that you've remained here long enough for time to leave its signature. We spend our lives trying to outrun the clock. But perhaps the clock was never chasing us. Perhaps it was simply walking beside us, recording every borrowed moment. Because in the end, none of us own time. We only carry it for a little while. And maybe that's what makes it priceless. Fade to black.